I feel a little bit overwhelmed. I think about that a weird amount. So here is what I did with the door. I'm actually really, really happy. 1 a.m., we hear someone like jostling at our door. Check this out. Welcome to another vlog, guys. Things are changing, very exciting stuff. So Tyler hung up my shelves here the other day. So I literally, some things I knew I was gonna put up, like I'd already had my little book, my books picked out to kind of be rainbowy looking, and my little squishy, here, let me see if I can show you. These little squishy guys I got on Amazon. They're so cute. Oh my gosh. Anyway, but a couple of things, I'm not sure they're gonna stay where they are. I just kind of got stuff up there just to get a vibe check. I would love to put a plant up there too. I have a plant where you can't see behind the camera, but it is not looking so hot. So I'm gonna try to revive it, but I don't think that's cute enough to go up on the shelf there. I wanna thank today's video sponsor, which is Merit. We'll talk about that in just a bit. We are resetting, okay? I have one very large project I want to get done that Tyler basically hung up this new pantry organizer on the back of our door. I had always thought of those kinds of organizers as great, but they, you know, you'd open and close the pantry door and it would just shake around, and that would drive me nuts. So we've never gone down that route, even though we do have a smaller pantry compared to like really large, like walk-in pantries that I know a lot of people have, a lot of you guys probably have. So we're trying to make the most use of our space. And we were actually at Tyler's mom's recently, and she has one on the back of her door and it's screwed into the door. So when you open and close that little pantry door, it's not shaking around and crazy. It's like firmly on that door. Tyler and I both saw it and looked at each other and we were like, wait a minute, we could use one of those like desperately. So I'm not sure how I want to use it. We'll get into all that. I'm going to walk you through it. We're going to get it done and I'm excited. But yeah, I have just hit that part of the month, if you will, where I feel like we need to kind of reset the house, get a project or two done, organize, get some laundry folded, all of those things. So I hope you're here for the journey as usual. By the way, these books here are not like favorite books of all time or anything like that. I genuinely picked them for their colors and their colors alone because I thought it looked so great. And actually, some of them I do really love, like the Midnight Library I really, really liked. 4,000 Weeks is one of my favorites. I really like Lessons in Chemistry. I'm trying to make sure these all books I have read. Yes, okay. Because I was like, I did want to make sure they were all books I've at least read. Anyway, and then a friend of mine got me this cute little book. So yeah, that will change, like I said, but for now, I'm actually eating some leftovers. What else is new? You have seen me sit in this position and talk about leftovers too often, so I won't do it to you. So I wanted to thank Merit for sponsoring this part of the video. I am gonna get ready really quickly. I've got a little bit of makeup on my face. I just put like a BB cream on. They just launched a new, actually multiple new Flush Balm shades, and you guys know that's one of my favorite products from them. And I've been messing around with a couple of them, and my new favorite is this shade Archival. It is so beautiful. I'll show you how I apply it. It is like the perfect winter, spring, kind of berry tone, especially if you're near my skin tone and you feel like it's hard to find a berry that can actually look good. This is it. I just feel like it looks so like an actual natural kind of flush, but it definitely has that berry tint to it. And I love it. I think it is such a pretty shade. So if you've been looking for a berry tone, this is one I would recommend. You guys know my other favorite is Beverly Hills. This one's a little bit like to compare them. This is Archival and this is Beverly Hills. It's definitely a little bit lighter and a little bit kind of pinky peachier. What I love about their products is they all kind of just look like skin. Like they don't look, I don't know, you know what I mean? Especially as I get older, I realize more and more that so many products really enhance the parts of my skin I don't love. And I feel like Merit, the things I've tried from them just end up looking nice. They look like skin. They enhance what I've got going on that I want to enhance and not what I don't. You know what I mean? Another fave of mine I've loved for years, it's one of the few highlighters I kept when I decluttered a bunch, is their highlight stick in Kava. This is one that I just feel like you can't go wrong with. Again, it looks like skin. It just adds that glow that you want from a highlighter without looking dry without emphasizing a bunch of texture or anything like that. It's perfect. It's so easy to apply. So I also got a new shade of their Solo Shadows. This is Vachetta, if I'm saying that right. This one is a little bit more of a camel colored brown. And you guys, let me show you. These are some of my favorite. You guys know I'm like a single shadow person. That's pretty much all I do. And this one, I feel like really emphasizes, it pulls out the green in my hazel eyes. Behind these hazel eyes, sorry, couldn't help it. Anyway, and I love it. And these are so easy because I'll just kind of tap it all over the lid. I could leave it like that, but often I will just grab a fluffy brush and just blend it. Keep it really simple. It ends up staying so perfectly throughout the day. It's such a simple look, but I feel like it really elevates what I've got going on without being super obvious that I'm wearing eyeshadow. And that, I think, is why I like these so much. They're low effort, but they're really impactful in the way that I want them to be. They're super easy to apply, which if you're like me and you're often getting ready very, very quickly, I appreciate that. See what I mean? I just love it. So yeah, this is definitely my new go-to shade. So another Merit fave of mine that I've loved for a while is the Shade Slick. This is a tinted lip oil. My go-to shade is Pink Beat. This lives in my purse. I just had to dig it out of there. I love it because I really don't need a mirror because it's one of those shades that truly just enhances the color of my lips enough to look really nice and pulled together, but it's comfy. You can rub your lips together. You know what I mean? It doesn't bother me when I'm drinking and eating. I just love this stuff so much. I find myself reaching for it a lot, I think because I love the way it makes my lips look, but it's also just really easy to apply. So I also recently fell in love with their signature fragrance. It's called Retrospect. It's been out now for a bit, but I smelled it in store a while back. And when I smelled it, I was like, okay, that smells nice. But I sprayed it on, waited a minute, and then smelled it on my skin. I could only describe this scent as expensive. It smells like you are incredibly wealthy. Do you know what I mean? Like when you pass someone on the street and they just look like they have money and you smell them walk by, this in my head is what they smell like. Truly, I don't have any fragrance like this. So they just launched their travel size of their Retrospect fragrance and I love that. I just stuck this in my purse when I got it. And so basically these two things live in my purse together. But they also right now have a gift with purchase. You can get this beautiful compact they created with CompletedWorks that is gorgeous. It can live in your purse. It can be with you on the go if you're traveling or you just want it for on the go touch-ups. It is free with any $125 purchase on Merit's site. The compact is limited edition, so definitely if you are interested in getting that as a free gift, you can also purchase it separately on the site, but if you want it as a free gift, I would shop sooner rather than later since it is a limited time only. So I will of course link all of my Merit faves that I just showed and the shades I used below if you are curious, but they have different smaller sets of these where you can save some money and get a discount, but you can only see those smaller sets with my link below. So definitely check it out, kind of peruse, see if there are any combos in there that you would be interested in. You can save some money. And then again, if you spend $125, you can get that free CompletedWorks compact that is so beautiful. Definitely consider trying maybe the travel size of their Retrospect fragrance because oh my gosh, it's just so unique. And it smells so, so good. And I just love that cheek. I just feel like it looks so pretty and flirty. I don't know. Anyway, okay. So thank you so much, Merit, for sponsoring this part of the video and continuing to support me in 2025 and for making some of my favorite beauty products. Oh, hello there. So welcome to our under construction little fitness room area. So this is where we've always had it. It's actually a smaller room than it appears, but Tyler has added mirrors. It's hard to show, you know what I mean? Let me kind of take jeez. Did you guys see that? I'm a buffoon. Okay, it is way too early for all this. All right, so yeah, he added mirrors to it here. Let me there we go, 0.5. And it looks amazing. He's taped it because he's gonna repaint. It just needed it. We had some things hung, so he was working on patching it. And then anyway, so that is to come. We're painting it basically the same color, but just giving it a fresh coat. And then you'll see the final because he just got new like rubbery flooring. He's gonna lay out here, rip up the carpet. So it's gonna be a little transformation, but I'm excited to show you the eventual project. I know he's been vlogging it, so hopefully I'm gonna have to ask permission if he's cool with me showing it in this state. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, I'm gonna do a walk on here because I'm really not feeling a run. I've been doing 5 days a week in the mornings. I'm not gonna lose my streak Monday through Friday. Like, I have been doing that all month and I'm so proud of myself. Well, like all January, I should say. So I'm gonna keep it up, but I'm gonna do like a walk because I'm just not feeling it, but I promised myself I would do something. So this is me doing something. Okay, one last thing before I do this. Tyler had this light in, I think, his office. And he was like, you know what? Let's bring it here because check this out. I will say in the mornings I've been running to this. It has been incredible. It feels like I'm in like a dance studio taking a class or like, so anyway, I have been loving it with the lights out and that, which is what I'm gonna do. It has gotten me so hype every morning, early in the morning. I think he got this on Amazon. I'll see if I can link it, but it also will do it to the beat. So you can hit on the thing like, I don't know, the music thing, and whatever music is playing, it will change the color to the beat, which is really cool too. Okay, that's all. Well, good morning. It has been quite a night. I, thank goodness, put some of these on because I felt like my under eyes needed it because I think Tyler and I collectively got like 3 hours. I'll tell you the story here in a little bit. Some of you guys will be able to commiserate with what was going on last night. Anyway, but I'm just about to get ready, throwing some lip balm on. I am on my second cup of coffee because again, as I said, I needed it. That's the update on that. Also, I've been trying to wear, like when I work out, I've been working out in the mornings. That's worked out really well. And I'll usually wear like my Apple Watch, but I've been wearing a regular watch. Like after I've done that and I know like, okay, I've done what I really wanted to do for the day fitness wise. So I'm not as concerned, I guess is my point, about like how many steps I got because as long as I was reaching my fitness goal, that's kind of what I'm looking at. My point is, then I feel like, okay, I can just wear a regular watch and not have to wear that and not be pinged all day, you know what I mean? So I got this one on my birthday when I was just out shopping. I think it's kind of cute. It wasn't wildly expensive and I like it. Simple. Makes me think of a watch my mom had when I was younger, which also makes me happy. But it's also reminding me how seldomly I read a regular analog clock. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, okay, it's 10, okay, it's 10:20. You know, anyway. Yeah, so we need to get ready for the day. I did shower and did my hair and then I'm wearing this turtleneck, although I'm doing some projects today and I'm starting to think, I wonder if this turtleneck was the best choice. It might not have been. We'll see how long I keep it on. All right, my friends, this is the thing I need to tackle today. I was actually going to do it yesterday and other things got in the way and Lissy, it just wasn't happening. Oh, I owe you a story time first, don't I? Yes, I do. Okay, before we tackle the project at hand, I'll show you. Last night, hold on, I feel like I need to sit down for this one. All right, let me get just a little top up here. Okay, so last night we, like I said, I think collectively got, I don't know, 2 hour, no, I mean, it was probably like 4 hours of sleep. So around 1 a.m. and we've been getting to bed a lot earlier than we used to because we're doing earlier morning things. And so that has been good. So we actually were a couple of hours into our sleep at this point. 1 a.m. we hear someone like jostling at our door, our bedroom door. And of course we're instantly like bolt upright, like what's going on? And so Tyler goes to the door and he's just like listening. And all of a sudden he opens it and it's little tiny 2-year-old Felicity there looking up at him with her adorable, cute, curly hair. And Tyler's like, oh my gosh. So a couple of times she has managed to climb out of her crib. But each time we were like, okay, there was one thing we figured she was climbing on. We took that down. All of her furniture is attached to the walls and always has been. That's a terrifying fear of mine. So everything's attached to the walls. Like there wasn't that fear. We're pretty careful about what is in her room that she could access, but she climbed out a couple times. We kind of chalked it up as like, okay, we kind of fixed one problem. She hadn't done it in a while. Wasn't even on our radar. So she climbs out, which if you're not a parent or you maybe don't remember, maybe you do, and you're like, oh my gosh, you want to keep your kids in a crib as long as you can. And some, like, I think if I didn't have kids, I'd be like, a 2-year-old, do they really need to be in a crib? Yes, they do. Because they don't yet necessarily have the capacity to understand like danger and like you don't want them wandering around the house at night without you knowing where they are. They can fall down the stairs. There's so many things. So last night she we put her back. Wait, I'm getting the story incorrectly. That was the night before. Okay, see, this is what I mean. We're running on like very little sleep. Last night, we kind of scared her into like, honey, like that's dangerous. Don't climb out of your crib. So we were like, all right, we're good. LOL. So she, last night, it really is running together, you guys. I can't even remember which happened when, but this for sure was last night. She entered the room on her own, our room, and then we heard this horrible like noise and then crying. We're like, so again, we're like bolt upright in the dark, trying to turn the lights on, and we finally get her, and she had hit her mouth on the corner of our bed because she tripped over Pinocchio's little bed there because she couldn't see because it was dark and she wasn't supposed to be wandering around anyway. So anyway, she's all good, everything's fine. But so we get some ice on it and we're talking to her and like, honey, you gotta stay in your bed, blah, blah, blah. So then we're like, all right, maybe she'll just sleep a little bit in our bed, which is probably a bad idea because that's, you know, like you do this as a parent, like you go through these scenarios, like maybe we shouldn't do this because it's gonna lead to that. And then, so anyway, we eventually get her back into her bed. She climbed out no matter how many, we pulled her crib in the middle of the room thinking maybe she's climbing onto like her chair next to it, still climbed out. We haven't even seen her do it. Like we'll think, okay, she's good, she's asleep. Like I rocked her all the way to sleep twice last night, laid her down, and then she's bolt upright doing stuff. So then we're like, all right, we're gonna take your stuffy out of there. Y'all, we tried everything. So of course we're doing all kinds of research. And I know some of you guys are gonna give a comments and hey, if you got some good ideas, we'll take them down below because she really is not at an age where she can be in a toddler bed yet. We already own a toddler bed. It was Genevieve's and we used the crib mattress like in it. But we're not at that point because I don't want her wandering around and she doesn't yet really understand that you're laying in your bed, you're supposed to stay there and go to sleep. Whereas with the crib, at least in theory, they're in there. So if she wants to be up and like we'll leave a book in there, she can kind of look at that while she's kind of winding down for sleep and it's all been fine. So what we're trying first is we are going to take her mattress, and a couple articles online suggested putting it on the floor, but in the crib. And the idea is if there's not a lot of space under the crib, that basically it's lowering it just enough, just 6-8 inches more that she wouldn't be able to climb out, but it would still feel the same to her, etc. So my fingers are crossed that works because that is the path of least resistance right now. At least a few more months until she's maybe at an age where she can understand danger a little bit better and all that stuff. So I tell you all that for no reason other than I just want to vent about it, okay? There are bigger problems in the world, I know, but that's just what's going on in our world. So yeah, anyway, all right, we're gonna tackle this though. What we're gonna do today is our pantry. And if that is the only big project I get done in this vlog, I'm cool with that because I have been putting it off. I'm actually really excited about what is in there. So let me show you my new little organization thing that I think some of you guys will be interested in if you have a kind of small closet like pantry like I do. Let me show you. Okay, so Tyler repainted these doors. They look so nice. But he did that because they needed it, and that way he could screw in this. So I don't know how this never occurred to us to do something like this, but we'd always seen like these over the door organizers. We were like, it's not quite right for us because when you would open the door, it would shake all around and that would drive both of us insane. And the amount of times this pantry door is open a day is like 100 times, like comical. So we saw this, actually Tyler's mom had this on her pantry door and we were like, wait a minute, that's screwed into the door, like duh. So we got one. I can link the exact one we have. I did do a little research and this one was not, I wanna say it was around like $60, somewhere in that ballpark, and it was either Home Depot or Lowe's. So I'll link below the exact one because it really is sturdy and has good reviews and we're really enjoying it so far. We literally were just placing things on it just to try it out. So what I want to do is utilize this in a smart way. I just don't know how yet. So I'm thinking the lower part of this down here, perhaps we could use for like kid snacks, like they could grab and go. Even Felicity's at an age where we can say like, okay, go grab a snack and she understands, you know what I mean? And Genevieve definitely is. So I think that would be kind of nice. It's also been nice having a spot for Genevieve's lunchbox there at the very bottom. And then maybe use the upper half for like things like peanut butter or like our little minute rice we go through all the time, like those kinds of things. I just don't know. So we're gonna play with a few things. I even tried to look for inspiration online of like, how do people organize theirs? And there's none. There's no, or like no one has done, I mean, plenty of people do this, But it seems that there's no like go-to system for this kind of thing. Like, what should I keep in there versus here? And I guess at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. It's all accessible. It'll just be nice to basically have more space and maybe an easier way for the kids to get snacks. So those are the goals. Let's see what we get into here. First things first, I need to take everything out, see if anything has expired. We've been pretty good about eating through everything we have and not buying a crazy amount of backups. The only things we'll sometimes buy backups are like snacks, because we'll go through a big box of snacks in a week and we'll get into the, you know what I mean? So it's not backups, I guess, if you're eating it within like a week or two. Anyway, so we're gonna pull everything out. The other thing is Tyler spilled flour in here accidentally. Like, I don't remember how it happened, and it spilled all down this. So there's a ton of like flour spilled throughout. We never really got properly cleaned up. So we're gonna try to tackle that as well. I'm trying to think, like, okay. Also, yikes. Those brownies I made in the previous vlog, this needs to just go in the trash. No, don't recommend, hated them. It was, if you saw my last, it was one of my recent vlogs, I made Katharine Hepburn's brownies. They were fudge. They were just fudge, okay? I like fudge enough, but I don't love fudge. And when I'm wanting brownies, I'm wanting brownies, not fudge. It tastes like fudge. And even one of the older kids at the little get together we went to, I asked her, I said, hey, be honest. I was trying a new recipe. How are the brownies? And I hadn't tried them yet. And she's like, they're okay. So then I tried it. I'm like, oh yeah, she's right. They're okay. So I just wanted to give you a little update on that. So that just needs to be thrown away and washed. Also, Miss Felicity was lucky because she went with me to the store the other day and picked out, that's always my deal. If they go to the store with me, they can pick out a cereal, and boy, oh boy, you better believe that 2-year-old picked out Lucky Charms. But I will say she was eating the actual cereal part of it today in her bowl, and I was impressed because usually she doesn't. So this was Tyler's choice. Oh boy. Also, have you guys ever had these coconut rolls from not Trader Joe's, from Costco? They are so good. If you like coconut, they're not wildly sweet or anything. If you like coconut, you would love these. You would devour them. And like, perhaps I use this for like backup sauces. Like, I always have a teriyaki sauce on hand. Buffalo sauce we're nearly out of. I'm like, maybe that would kind of be a nice use of it. And these things I can move wherever I want. They just come right off. So I can, and some of them are deeper than others. So that is kind of nice. So I can adjust it as needed, which I love. The most giant bottle of hot sauce I've ever seen. This is Tyler's go-to hot sauce for when we eat, I want to say Mexican. I feel like he puts this on eggs too, or maybe that's sriracha. Anyway, he loves the Black Label Valentina, and this is the most giant one I've ever seen. I got it at Kroger. This is our rice box, all kinds of rice. We've also got, I guess we have like pearl couscous in here and quinoa too, but didn't even know we had salsa in here. So Tyler, long ago now, a couple years ago, actually transformed this. It was, I mean, transformed, I think I'm being dramatic, but it was a transformation for me. It was just the classic white wire shelving that I know a lot of us have. And we took those out, and he built these wooden shelves and just kind of stained them. And it was such a game changer because the wire shelves were only so deep. So he made these even deeper. So we had more room that way, but also you weren't worried about things being all like off kilter or like falling through the cracks. It was just such a nice upgrade that didn't cost a crazy amount of money or anything, but I just feel like it made me love this pantry so much more. You can literally see the layer of like flour and stuff, yeah, there. And then this is just one of those expandable little things. So I'm gonna clean up in here, get the rest of it out, and then we'll see what we're working with here. Oh, more of those? Ooh, unopened. How did they get all the way? Ooh, how old are they?
Far back. Make sure they're not expired.
So so Tyler's here. And I also changed, I was sweating. I've got the door open. It's like weirdly a balmy 50 degrees here today, and it's been like 10 degrees, so it's...
Nuts.com.
That's right, this is that candied ginger. I want to eat one. Anyway, we bought crystallized ginger. No, we haven't. But it's a long story. It's for a recipe. And okay, so when Tyler added shelves to this, he actually added, the ceiling of this was really high and there was no shelves. So he added another kind of less deep shelf, which in theory is great to hold like stuff we really don't use often. Like maybe it's a certain kind of flour Tyler likes to bake, like that he doesn't use often, whatever. However, it's so hard to access that we obviously forget about some things up there. Okay,
Or like
so
put backups, of stuff up there.
yeah, I feel a little bit overwhelmed. I'm not sure what I want to do. I was talking to Tyler. You were saying you kind of view this as the door thing for like easy access.
Quick access, things that we access all the time.
Yeah. He's been painting, by the way, the thing I showed you, the workout room earlier.
Yeah, it's in but yeah, I kind of pictured the like backups being in the back, and then this being quick access, things that we eat all the time, oatmeal snacks, etc.
I agree. I think that's a good idea because then it's kind of like you pull it out of the collection and you can see it easier.
Diastatic and non-diastatic malt powder, very important to grab at all times.
He's going to be making bagels soon, and that you said the recipe it calls for those.
Soft pretzels. One for one, one for the other.
Ooh, the girls, well, they would like the bagels, but they will like the soft pretzels too. Gotta have cheese sauce with it though.
I could do sweet ones too, so we'll see.
Could you make churro pretzels? Wait.
Those are two different things, but I
just mean like a cinnamon sugar pretzel. Yeah. Could you do a stuffed pretzel? Like a cream cheese stuffed?
Let me get it. I've never made pretzels. Let me get them down.
All right.
Let me try an OG first, and then
yeah, that's fair. So anyway, all right.
I'm fancy with the spices.
Fancy? So I am in cleaning mode. I still need to get all these out here, but cleaning mode, and then I think I'm just gonna try stuff, and we're just gonna see how it is. I don't know why this stresses me out. This is like actually also kind of fun, but you know what I mean. You want it to be just right, and it'll never be just right. All right, we're on my phone now because the camera battery died and my hair's falling out. I have been in a flow state, okay? I am so excited. I'm basically done. The only things that aren't in there yet are the like various flours Tyler has and y'all. I mean, if you've been watching a while, you know, he literally bakes bread all of the time. He's working his way baking through the King Arthur cookbook, like King Arthur school whatever, which has been amazing. But he has so many different types of flours, and we also have some jars of like quinoa and things like that. But anyway, that goes on that shelf there that's empty. But I love when you have ideas that make your life, that are so simple, and it's been right in front of you, and you know that by placing something that you use all the time in a different location, it's going to make your life so much better. So this is not super Pinterest worthy, but this is our little shelf right next to where we cook, right? And so we've always had like some oils, salt, pepper, garlic, that kind of thing. And then I've always had baking stuff up here. So it's not that different, but I had this little container holding like gravy things that were outdated by like 6 years. I'm like, why? I don't even use gravy packets very often. Anyway, so I'm utilizing it for something different, which is so nice. And I've always wanted something to kind of hold the chocolate chips in place. This though, we reach for our collagen and our protein powder nearly every single day. And we have always kept it down here at the bottom, like in the corner for like years. By having it in a much easier to access place, this is just gonna make things go so much more smoothly when we're trying to make like a protein shake, whatever. And it's one of those simple things that I'm like, why have we not done this sooner? So we had a bunch of like balsamic and other oils that we don't use as often here in like a little turntable thing. And I just moved that to there. So that worked out well. Little things like that, right? Okay, I'm gonna show you the progress I've made because I'm kind of at, like I said, once he gets some of this stuff where he wants it up there. Otherwise, I'm generally done. I think some things as we're using it the next few weeks, we'll realize like, no, that doesn't work, whatever. And I need to go back through because I feel like some of this is like, well, let me just show you, okay? Okay, so here is what I did with the door. I'm actually really, really happy with how this turned out. I stuck with my plan of doing kid snacks here that are easy for them to grab. I wouldn't mind if they were grabbing it randomly, you know. And then little things that we didn't have a place for. So like Ritz crackers. We bought a big box at Costco, but it just comes with a bunch of sleeves of the Ritz crackers and we use them all the time. Well, and we have two open because one of them was in one area of the pantry and the other was in the other. It never really had a home because we keep the big box of them down in the basement just because it takes up a lot of room up here. So it's kind of nice to have a place for those to actually go so I'll know where to look and I'll know where to put it away when we're utilizing that. I also feel like it is so nice to have a place for her lunchbox. Like that alone That's always floated around in here for the past couple of years. Up here, we've got things we're accessing all the time. Vitamins, things for the dog, our own kind of more grown-up snacks. Some of these the kids could have too, but some of them they wouldn't. So it's kind of nice to have them out. We've always just had them in these drawer systems, which I'll talk about here in just a sec. And then like quick oatmeal things are nice to have right there. Again, same thing. We had a big box from Costco, and having just a small amount up here and keeping the big box downstairs saves us so much room in this pantry here. The rice did stay. We've got honey and granola. Those are often used things. And then some like emergency. These were always buried, so it's nice to have them. And then Nutella just fit up there really well. So I am so happy. I feel like this is gonna work pretty well. It'll probably change and morph, but then here we have so much room. So as I said, that will be all of the baking stuff. But beyond that, like we have breathing room. This is unheard of. Like, this is so nice. So we'll just kind of live with this. It's not wildly different. I did adjust. I put the cans on a lower shelf because I was like, you know what? We don't often use those unless it's for like recipes. And it was always on this like prime real estate shelf here that was at our eye level. And I'm like, why are we putting that there? We should have something else that we would be looking for more often at that prime real estate eye level. So we used to, well, we still do. We have two of these. One was for the kids and one was for us. Now, this is just going to be any snacks, both kids and adult, that aren't being housed in the door. So if we have some backups of some things, like maybe the bars didn't all fit, those would go here. But then just also stuff that wouldn't make sense in the door, like my favorite. I have 3 flavors of the chickpea snacks. Things like that, dried mango, prunes, etc. So that is nice. We'll just kind of share that and see how that goes. I'm going to keep the other one of these that I have, though, just maybe hold it in the basement for a while and see if I miss it, because there's a chance I might. And then all the other like bagged snacks we may have, pita chips, little animal crackers, those can all go in there. We've got our cereals and our breakfasty items there, some baking things there. As I said, the cans, and then I have his ginormous hot sauce and then decaf cold brew back there. And then down here is kind of more like dinnery things. So this is all couscous pasta. We've got some beef and chicken broth or whatever back there, mac and cheese box. And then this is mostly rice. And then that's that thing of random vinegars and oils and things we don't use often, but we do use from time to time. And then this down here is the only thing down here right now, which is wild. And it is truly our miscellaneous. It's the stuff we don't reach for often, but we do need, like packet of ranch. I bought 2 that time. I couldn't find it a few weeks ago. Also, I just ate one of these crystallized gingers and it was absolutely delicious. Tasted like candy. Anyway, chia seeds, nuts, just random things. Guar gum, xanthan gum, you know, the very important things, Bisquick. So that is there. It just seems crazy. I just love having breathing room. Thank you, little door organizer of my dreams. Good morning. Same spot, different day. So I am doing another quick little project. I just want to show you what I'm doing. So I was really quickly kind of refilling some of my spices, and one of the few very Pinteresty things I have done in my house that I actually love and have kept up with is making my spices match. I know it is very extra, but I was telling Tyler, I'm like, you know what? When I did this, like during the height of the pandemic, it brought me joy and I still love it. So there was a new spice we've bought, which is za'atar, because we had za'atar bread when we were in Egypt and it was so unbelievably good. So I think I can still link these things. Where I bought them. I'm sure I can link these, but like the exact jars with the gold lids. I'll link what I can find. But anyway, my point here is that the only thing you have to keep in mind if you were ever wanting to do this, it's quite a chore. But the other thing is, like, you want to have the expiration date for the spices on them. So what I've been doing is using my label maker on like clear labels and putting, here, let me just show you one of these at the bottom when it expires. So that's worked out really well. And when they're empty, we just buy a new one. A lot of times we'll just get them, if we can, in a bag, so then we can just dump it in. That way we don't feel like we're getting rid of a jar when we don't have to, you know what I mean? But anyway, yeah, it just makes me so happy. And then these like drawer organizers. Do you remember where we got these, Tyler? They kind of like, they're like raised just enough so that they kind of lay out nicely. It might have been the Container Store, maybe even Amazon. I'll see what I can find if any of you guys were thinking about this kind of project, but you certainly do not need them to match, but it's one of those little things that does make me so happy.
And I remember I had to cut them down to fit in the drawer, so I had to get my table saw out and cut them so that they fit correctly. So that's one thing to keep in mind too.
That's a good point, like measure and see. But anyway, yeah, beautiful. Yay. Okay. Survived the weekend, and by that I mean it was just one of those weekends that it flew by. We were busy, it was fun, but then all of a sudden we're like going to bed on Sunday night and we're like, where did the weekend go? So cheers to Monday. I actually need to fold some laundry in the girls' room, so I'm gonna do that because their laundry is, folding is being I guess I do fold it, but like some things like pajamas, those are just being thrown in the drawer because it's just the way it is. Also, Genevieve's dresser is the dumping ground. Not just her, us too. Like when we're bringing things up to her room to like set things down, it all ends up on the dresser. Anywho, so I'm going to try to get that done and knock that out. Take a sip of this coffee. So hot, so hot. Oh, so strong, so strong. There's a lot going on in that cup. Okie dokie. I usually... And if you have multiple kids, I'm actually curious how you do things. They each, like, in their room have a laundry basket. It's actually the same one because it's, like, perfect. It has a lid that closes, but it's attached. So anyway, oftentimes theirs are so full because I try to do it every week, but oftentimes it'll be, like, every week and a half or whatever. And they have enough clothes and stuff that it's usually pajamas we run out of first, you know? Anyway, oftentimes I'll do theirs separate because, like, this is a mixed load of theirs, which in theory is great because it can save time. It's all getting washed at the same, all getting dried. However, sometimes they have like a lot of matching clothes and matching jammies just because of the era we're in. And it almost takes more time to be like, okay, whose is this? All right. What size is 120? It was like something I bought on Amazon. It's a different sizing structure. So I'm like, anyway, sometimes I feel like it takes me more time when they're mixed up versus like if it's separate, I know, you know what I mean? Anyway. Takes the guesswork out of it, I guess. But anyway, this is a combined load, so you're going to see me doing that. Today, Genevieve asked for 3 ponytails in her hair. And I said, okay. So we did 3 ponytails. And she did not like the way it looked. Which I could have told her. But, you know, it was so cute, though. Just seeing her look at herself in the mirror and go, no. Never mind. I was like, okay. So we did 2. We did little pigtails, and they were so cute. But I feel like, you know, these early mornings, her going to school in kindergarten, it's like the hair is the last, you know, ditch effort. It's so funny. The first few weeks of school, I was so good about, you know, I was braiding her hair, doing all these cute. And now we're at that point where we're just like, let's just make sure your hair is brushed. She loves wearing headbands. You might be able to see your headband thing over there. She loves wearing headbands. And so that's generally our go-to unless it's like she has gym that day. And then we'll usually pull it in a little ponytail. But anyway, it was just an interesting morning hair-wise. We also discovered this place this weekend that is like an indoor playground. And oh my gosh, first of all, last night as I was going to bed, I was thinking, okay, if I had the capital and the like desire, that's what I would want to do. Open up an indoor playground. And the reason this was genius, I would just want it closer to where I live because it wasn't like wildly close. But anyway, it was genius. You go in, you got to pay. I feel like it was kind of steep for what it was, but at the same time, the kids loved it so much that I'm like, they have memberships. It was like $15 a kid, which I guess you guys don't know what it looks like inside. Either way. So we go in, we met our best friends there and their kids. And so they were all excited to see each other and to play. But what is so smart about this is that they had a cafe there too. So everyone's all in the same, and it's a pretty big, I hesitate to even say room. It's a big space. But it's definitely geared towards kids under 10, I would say the entire space is. And they have areas that are just for like 18 months and younger. But you can be among them throughout. And so I feel like a lot of the places we've been in the past where it's like, you know, those places definitely geared towards older kids that are just wild and crazy. There's like zip lines and ball pits and jumping areas, but it's a lot. And we've gone to that once before. It was someone's birthday party, and it was definitely like not the vibe. My girls were not fans. yet of a place like that. And it was just so loud and overwhelming. My point is, this was exactly perfect for my kids at the ages they are. And so like we were able to have iced coffee from the little cafe and walk around. The kids were having a ball. Genevieve ended up seeing like another kid she knew from school there, and they got to play. And anyway, it was just one of those times where I'm like looking around and I'm like, this is the most genius business idea anyone's ever had. Because like I said, play spaces for younger kids, like I feel like oftentimes you're locked into, especially in the winter, indoors, you're locked into the library, which we love and utilize generally like a couple times a month, and like a children's museum or somewhere like that, but those are even more expensive, you know? So anyway, I just feel like this is so genius. There's another place near us that's like a sand pit. It's called like Dig Site or something to do with digging. And so I want to try that one too, because I think they would like it. And they've got all kinds of sand toys and like trucks and all that. But anyway, why I folded that, but that is one that I hang up. I'm just going to kind of lay it out. I feel like both of the girls are like currently going through a growth spurt. I can't believe I haven't updated you guys. Okay. I really do feel like I'm on FaceTime with y'all. I hope you feel the same. So I told you earlier about how Felicity's been crawling out of her crib. Guys, knock on wood, problem is solved. So we tried the few things that I think I mentioned. We put on her sleep sacks because we used to use those. So we put those on. And then Tyler did basically took off the bottom thingy, I don't know what you call it, and put the mattress on the floor. And so it's still locked into the crib, if you will. Knock on wood. I don't even want to say it. But so that, I was genuinely praying. I'm like, please help us figure this out. We just need a few more months. Otherwise, no one will ever sleep again, is what is going to happen. But I feel for you, like if you're a parent and you had kids close together and you needed the crib for the baby coming and you had to like have your toddler basically be out of the crib sooner than you maybe would have liked to, I feel for you, because that's one of those random things in parenthood I feel like people don't talk about. I remember being pregnant the first time, and it was like close to the time we were going to give birth. And one of our neighbors told us, whatever you do, because they had, I think, 2 young kids at the time, don't graduate your kid out of the crib too early. Wait as long as you can. And that stuck in my head because I'm like, what a weird thing to say. Like, because at the time I didn't have any kids and I'm like, what an odd, like very specific, but I think that was where they were in their lives, like with their young kids in that stage. And so it was top of mind, but I'm like, you know what? It's great advice. Okay. Anyway, that just made me laugh. I think about that a weird amount. Like, what are those pieces of advice I would give someone if I knew? One of the ones we say all the time, it's really, I got to give credit to Tyler. I don't remember where he heard it, but it was something like, how does he word it? They won't be 30 and still doing XYZ. So whatever it is, like, okay, they won't be 30 and still trying to sleep with you in your bed. Like, you know, you get stressed, like, oh, my parent or my kid's sleeping in my bed and they won't sleep in their own bed, and all those little things that stress all of us out that you go through. But with that perspective of, okay, but they won't be doing this forever. You know, they won't be 13 most likely and trying to do that. Like, they will eventually grow out of it, as hard as it is in the moment. Which has actually proven to be a pretty helpful mantra in our minds through a lot of some of the things that feel like big things in the moment, but maybe aren't. Not just with kids, just in life. Just keeping the perspective of, like, when a problem arises in your life, we'll ask ourselves, like, will I even be thinking about this in a week or a month or a year? And usually the answer is no. Like, I will forget about this problem that feels huge right now. In a month, I will barely remember it. And I feel like that can be really helpful to remind yourself of. I have not been doing a good job of divvying up. Who's this who's? What am I doing? Okay. Where do you guys shop for pajamas for kids? I mean, I get it from anywhere and everywhere. You know, it just is what it is. But some of my favorites, like Carter's, like this is like the softest. I wish you guys could feel this little set. But I also love these kinds of little, I don't even know where I got this, maybe Target, little flannel, kind of old school jammy sets. They're just so cute. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. I think for me, when we know for sure that our family is complete, and maybe it is now, we just don't know, but I will miss kids' clothes. So I will look forward to, if I become a grandparent in the future, buying clothes for them because they're just so cute. But yeah, Carter's we've really leaned into lately because they are always having sales. And like, if you were to buy the things full price, oh my gosh, no way. Some of the prices they're asking are comical for something they're going to grow out of so fast. But when they're always having like 40, 50, 60% off sales, especially online. And so there have been times where I've gone in store to Carter's, seen things, looked it up, and it was like at that time, like 40% off online, but it wasn't in store. So I would just like scan it, add it to my cart online and buy it that way. I'm sure that they probably have some system where it's like if you mention the online price, maybe they would just price adjust right there. I feel like most places would, but then you got to go through that conversation. Anyway, but yeah, I figure I will sign off here. I'm not sure how long this vlog has gotten to be, but I usually end up going on and on because it's just the way I roll. But I hope you have enjoyed this vlog. Definitely check out my weekly vlogs playlist. I'm vlogging every single week. And I have really enjoyed sharing more of my life with you guys and just hanging out together. As I've said, just kind of going through life with each other. Thank you again to Merit for sponsoring a part of this video. Again, if you want to check out any of my Merit favorites, get some of their discounted sets, you can definitely save money with those bundles. And you can see those discounted sets with my link below. And again, remember, you can get the Merit and CompletedWorks beautiful compact. It will come for free with any order over $125, and that is like limited time only while supplies last. So definitely worth checking out if you were thinking about it. And thank you all for watching all the way to the end, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.